Welcome to NEK VT Rocks. My guest today is Diane Peel, and Diane runs, started, developed, created the 99 and the Community Mesh program. But we're here today to talk about the 99 and community building. Thank you for coming back.
Well, thank you for having me. I always have plenty to say.
That's true.
Unfortunately.
No, that's the good news. A couple of weeks ago, or a couple of shows ago, Colleen Moore and Dorian were on here talking about community building. And it's really important that we sort of focus on that, because somehow community in Newport and probably some of the surrounding towns has somehow got squashed, pushed to the side. What can we do about helping that heartbeat, which is so small right now, really go? Because that's how a town thrives.
First of all, I want to say that although I do a lot of work with the 99, I want to give credit to the people that got it going years ago, which would be, I think we have 8 years that the group's been around, but it's 6 years at our current location. And that would be Jack Rogers and Terry Mosley, Mary Brenner, Tom Farrow, people that, and yourself, you helped out too. You've helped out a lot. So we've had a crew of people who have helped over the years. It's not just been me, so that's important to know. And also we have we have people who come to the 99 every day who do help with things in ways that they can. And I really appreciate that from them also. So I have been thinking a lot about community building lately. I was thinking about it yesterday as I was putting out the newsletter, taking it around to people, thinking about why I do the newsletter and how it helps with that. And I think we have to look at what factors go into making community, and those, in my opinion, I haven't done a lot of scientific research on this, but in my opinion, they are creating a sense of place, creating an identity, creating a participation, and creating history. And I think those are the 4 things that a community needs. People need to be tied to a place. You can talk about the we might have the breast cancer survivors community online, but that is not the same kind of community as we need. And then we need a sense of identity. We have who we are in our community. What are our problems? What are our common goals? What do we need to do to work together? That's our sense of identity. We have to participate in common activities, and it can be stuff like, I feel that one of the things the 99 does, every year, the block party, and that block party is entirely put together. Although I have to say, I want to thank some of the people from the Building Flourishing Communities this year who came and helped out with the block party, and also Journey to Recovery Community Center, who donated the grill and brought food, and also the United Church, they provided chairs for us. But in general, most everything is done by folks in the community who are connected to the 99.
Right.
And but anyway, participating, when you have an event like that and you can encourage people to participate in it every year, that is a way of establishing community. And events could be something. I would like to see other kinds of participation. I would like to see people in the community get together and actually build stuff, maybe literally even build something would be great.
You certainly have people who are involved with the 99 who have those skills.
Yeah, and everybody can participate in some way.
Right.
We had tents to put up for the block party, and we had all kinds of people helping with those tents. Everybody can do something. And then the other thing is sense of history. And the newsletter that I just did, I had fun with it because of the the season, the fall, and we do a lot of scary stuff around this time of year. And so
Good scary.
Yeah, fun scary. So I asked for, ideas about haunted houses and stuff like that. And I got a lot of stories, and I did some historical research. And the historical research was really fun, and I wish I'd had more time to do it, about just the area like right around where we are, and around Bayview Street, and looking at old maps. And I thought, well, this is really important too, that people in a community need to know about their history. They need to know that they're not just a bunch of people who just landed here from nowhere, that there were people here before, that the houses they're living in have histories and are connected to people, and that also creates a sense of community. So I want to do more with history. So the 99 tries to work on all of those things, creating the identity, place, participation, and history. And unfortunately, we're just really small.
Right.
Because there's only so much I can do, and that, you know, we don't have grants. We do have some occasional small donations, which are really helpful, and I appreciate, but
subtle hint, if anybody wants to
yeah,
donate,
right.
would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, we'll take anything too. We also take donations for our yearly yard sale for the Veggie Project. So.
And donations of food.
Yeah,
you create community meals.
We mostly we don't do a lot of that. We do the vegetables.
Yeah.
And we really could use donations for that, because we want to. I would like to be able to buy more shares from Piece of Earth Farm, because I want also other people to thank our the Garden Patch farm stand. Yeah. They've been donating stuff for the Veggie Project, Farm to School. Donated a little bit, and a wonderful lady named Louise in the community who's donated things from her garden. Mary Brenner's also donated. So, but we really like to give out the stuff from Piece of Earth Farm. Yeah. Well, as also Home Gardens, because it is beautiful vegetables. They're fresh. They're just wonderful, and we would like to have more of that, so that people in the community can see what kinds of fresh things you can get if you get them from local farms.
And you have members who show how to use the veggies if people don't know what some of
We've
these strange.
done that. We've done kale chips, and we've done stuffed jalapeno peppers. We did this year. We've done sliced kohlrabi.
I love stuff.
Yeah, they were a real hit. Yeah. We've done kohlrabi slices. We had we have a vegetable that came from Piece of Earth Farm, which I haven't prepared any of, but I guess maybe next year we'll try that. It's a Italian gourd, edible gourd called a
tromboncino.
No, it's a cucurzio or something like that. I can't.
A long one.
Pam, it's a long one. Yeah. And I guess they're like zucchini, and we have, we've given some of those out. I would like to, maybe next year if we have those again, I'm going to fix some of those up. We had a lot of leftover pickling cukes last week, so. Week before last, so Pam and Angela and I got together and we pickled those into refrigerator pickles. We gave out the refrigerator pickles.
Oh, that's great.
We do recipes too. So there's more to it. It's not quite like the food shelf.
Yeah, we have a bag of kale for you here that's from Bluffside Farm.
Oh, great.
There's
yeah,
because
they
there that
produce
has
stuff
just
too.
Closed for the year.
Yeah. And there are a lot of places around that are giving things out. I will say that the food shelves and everything in NECA, they're carrying and United Church and NEC, I think, are carrying the bulk of giving out vegetables, and what we do is really small. But there are some people, seniors, I think particularly, maybe who've worked their whole lives and don't think of themselves as charity cases, who don't go to the food shelf.
Right.
They really need to, but they don't. And I think that coming to our stand, which kind of looks a little more like your local farm stand, is just a little easier for them.
Sure.
And so that fulfills that purpose. So, and the newsletter, I feel, is because it does deal with issues that affect people in the community, is a great way to establish identity. We try to focus on. I try to stay away from the big controversial items.
Good luck with that.
Well, I do actually. Yeah. I think I do a pretty good job. I did an article about the upcoming changes to food stamps, which is a national issue. But a lot of people in our community, seniors or low-income workers, may be affected by it.
Big time.
So I want to, as an informative thing, I want to talk about that kind of stuff. But mostly in the newsletter, we do a lot of just really, really local stuff, like, you know, people in the neighborhood that are artists or writers or do interesting things, and people in the neighborhood who are helping their neighbors. I really like to cover that too. So I think the newsletter is a good way to get information out and to also get people thinking about stuff that we would like to do in the community to improve things. I'm not sure if it's totally getting through, because somebody the other day said to me, "Hey, I just found out that you can register that you can vote. You don't have to vote on voting day. You can vote earlier than that." And I said,
yes.
"Oh,
I
oh
saw
no!"
a great big online
yeah.
discussion about that, and you think, "Wow."
I've done 2 articles about that in the newsletter. You know, maybe I need to put it in bigger letters.
Or say it differently. I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah.
It's how do we also share information about what's happening? I have no
Oh,
idea,
I took
because
that yeah.
how do we reach
Right.
everybody?
Because not everybody's online.
Right.
And I did that this summer in the newsletter. I had a page for the summer months of what's going on. And I found it was hard to find that information. I had to go to a lot of different places and dig
Right.
around and put it all together in one spot. There really is not one place where you can go to
A central calendar. And
yeah.
we've talked about that
Yeah.
now for more than 10 years here.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to begin to organize that, because it's a massive undertaking. It requires everybody to know that it exists, to put in information.
And probably have it in several different formats, because not everybody
Right.
is. I mean, and you do have to go. I have to go when I like to go to the rec department. I had to go to the websites of all the churches. I had to call people up. I had to call up Journey to Recovery to find out what their schedule is for events. I had to go to places like Front Porch Forum and all gather all those things together to put on one sheet of paper, and that takes quite a bit of time.
It does.
To do that.
And it presupposes that all of the groups know, say in May, what they're going to be doing
Yeah,
in
that's
August.
another thing.
And most of us don't.
Yeah, I'm like calling up places saying, well, I have to have this out, by the last 3 days in the month. Have you any idea what your events are going to be for?
And the answer is no.
It's like, and I found a lot of things going on that I didn't know were going on, and
yet you're pretty well informed.
Yeah, well, I don't get on the internet to just browse around as much as I would like to, because I'm working so much. So I think Newport, Vermont Rocks is definitely a good place to go for events.
But again, you have
to be there. You have to be there.
Or be willing to scroll through a few days.
Right, and that I think people should do that if they're on the internet. They should be doing that as a regular practice. We do have for Newport, Vermont Rocks on our if you go to our the Mesh Newport Wireless Mesh website, which is newportmesh.org, not .com or anything. We do have a page of Facebook pages. They're right there on our first page, and one of those is Newport, Vermont Rocks. We also have the police department and the rec department and some other things. So they're Facebook. If you are a member of Facebook, you can access those. If you're not, they'll let you access a few of them, and then they tell you need to become a member.
Right.
And also, I think for Newport, Vermont Rocks, you need to be a member of that also. But you should join, of course. Everybody should.
So if there's some genius with some serious internet skills who's looking for something to do as a volunteer, they could really work on this calendar.
Absolutely. I thought I read somewhere there was going to be such a thing, but it just never happened.
Well, the logistics and the time it takes to do it. And for those of us who use the internet but who are not super geeks, to be able to set up that kind of calendar and get people to understand how to input for themselves.
Yeah.
And then
And also have
reach
some
out.
other version, like a print version.
Right.
Or just a big poster, or, again, you know, if we had a community center,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that would be on that would be on a big bulletin board. There'd be a big calendar, and you could just probably walk by and fill out your little thing and
Right.
stick it up there for
I
your
mean,
event.
we keep coming back to this. We really need a community center.
Yeah, and
And yet, how do we do that?
well, it would take a lot of work. It would take a committee who would stick with it for
Mhm.
probably a couple years from
Yeah.
beginning to end to get it set up. It would take people who are able to go after grants, and not just little ones, but big ones. I
Right.
have been told there's a lot of money out there.
Yeah, I keep hearing the same thing.
And I think there are big grants. It would take a very large grant for the public part of a community center.
Right.
The public part would be getting the building built, and then
Or renovating.
or
an
renovating
existing.
something existing, and then being able to pay for one or two people to run it.
Right.
You would need a coordinator, so that there would be money there, and also maybe some money for some programs to have there.
Mhm.
I also think an additional source of revenue might be that if you have a big enough space to relocate some organizations which are meeting in other spaces, maybe to relocate all into the same space, into the community center. And the reason I think that's important is because I think that a critical mass of people at a location is important to attract other people. People go where there are people.
Right.
So you need to, what we have now is we have all little organizations meeting, a few people here and a few
Right.
people there, spread all out. They're isolated from other people, for one thing.
Mhm.
They, the seniors don't meet the kids, don't, people in recovery don't meet the folks who
Mhm.
are doing art classes,
Mhm.
and, well, they do have some of their own art classes, but other people, or they don't meet the folks from the MAC, and all those things. People are not meeting each other, and they're little groups, and they're spread out, so that
Right.
you never get a sense of enough activity going on,
Right.
that other people might walk by and say, hey,
There's
I should
something
stop in there.
happening."
Something's going on. Crowds attract people.
Yes,
So,
they do.
so if you have a location where you have a lot of people there, that's why I think that we need to get some organizations that people are going to come to get them all in one place, so they're all going there. And then on top of that, you probably need to have someone to organize, like we do, art displays. There should be musical events that
Mhm.
happen, or community events that happen there. All that's the public part. And then on top of that, you need to get somebody who will go out and really advertise and bring in some small businesses
Mhm.
who would be willing to sell stuff to those people that we're going to get there.
Gee, I know
Right.
where there's a perfect location. It's sitting right slap in the middle of Newport.
Right, it's-
Right now it has nothing in it.
Now it's just a town
literally-
forest, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of trees there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great, and I think that,
And there could be businesses along the front.
there absolutely should be businesses, because the town wants
Yeah.
businesses who pay taxes.
Absolutely.
But the businesses need bodies. They need bodies there, so we need to have the public-private partnership, so
Right.
that we get the crowd there who,
Mhm.
on their way to their, meeting for
Mhm.
some organization, pass by the coffee shop that's
Right.
selling the coffee and the donuts, or go by the little stand where I would love to see renting vendor carts to small people that want to just
Mhm.
sell their
One
hand-
product, yes.
handmade scarves or whatever.
Yes.
And have them rent them very cheaply, a cart-sized space. Those are for
Mhm.
people who just have no money to rent
Right.
a business. Have those people there. It's impulse buying, but we could have local crafts, and people could, on their way to somewhere else, might want to spend a few dollars on this
Mhm.
interesting thing that they just suddenly realized they needed. Because the thing is
Eye
that
candy.
yeah, right. But the thing is that when people plan purchases, they do often go to the internet,
Right.
because they're sitting down at home. They can do that. But for things that you either can't get on the internet,
Right.
or you might just buy, because
it's lovely.
Because you saw it,
Yeah.
and you've never seen it before. It's a pottery piece or something made in Vermont. You know, those things should be in there, and they should be there for people that that we have brought there for other purposes. So we need to get the crowd.
Both those of us who live here and those who come in as tourists.
And tourists.
Yeah.
Also, the community center. When I say community center, I think that people say, oh yeah, okay, this is going to be one of those like urban places where there's murals of working people on the walls, and we have a lot of big signs about how you can get help with your services and stuff. Well, all that, we could have a nice mural, that would be great, but
we certainly have people who can do that.
The services need to be there,
yes.
But there would be a part, or there would be some place you would go to, and it would be a part of the center where you walk through other stuff to get to that location. But that would not be the primary purpose, because we want the community center to be a place where a tourist could walk in and see
real Newport.
To see an art exhibit, some things being sold. Maybe people, when we talked about putting together a community center, people said they would like a little gym of some sort. They need some sort of, you know, something like that, where people could go and exercise, so they might be able to go do that. And just have a pleasant place where they could walk around, maybe have coffee, get out of the rain.
Have music.
Busking. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Buskers. We have some really talented musicians.
We do, and you know, in Burlington, they vet people, and those people, they charge. You get a little income from that for people to, and then the people that
on Church Street, there's loads of musicians.
And those people do pay some kind of fee, but then also I think they can put their hat out, and people can make donations. So that's good for everybody.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And with that, we could so easily do here. With or
because
without
we have the
talent.
We have so much talent hiding out in the woods in the Northeast Kingdom. It's like we got artists, we got writers, we got musicians. They're all over the place. They don't come into Newport, though.
Well, they do come into Newport, but we don't know it.
Well, maybe they're you know, we have some good artists at the MAC, and we have our people, art shows.
You have good artists.
Well, we do.
Too.
We have good artists, but our focus is trying to get people like really locally. Like we try to get as local people as we can.
You had a beautiful photography exhibit not that long ago. You had Richard's Aurora Borealis.
Oh yeah, and those are people that live
some wonderful local art.
A few blocks from the 99, right?
Joanne Dagger's photographs were gorgeous, and she's super local.
Yep, absolutely. We do try to do that.
And you have others.
So anyway, the kind of in community center I'm envisioning is that kind of public-private partnership, but that, as I said, would require some people putting in some serious hours. Where we find those people, I don't know. We have a small population here. We have people already that are working on things that are kind of up to their gills with work.
We do, but something like this, there is a potential. And what if we did put out an invitation? You know, pick a date, set out an invitation.
I'm not sure I am the best person to do it, because I have tried in the past. We tried to have some meetings, and we did get people to come, and we got some good ideas about what should be in a community center, but putting in the hours that would be necessary, and having the special skills. I've learned from working on the MESH project, I've learned a lot about grants, because MESH is a nonprofit and we do seek grants, and that there is an art to grants, and a lot of it is you need to know the system, you have to know how to work the system, and I'm not particularly good at that.
No, a lot of us.
I'm more likely inclined to tell the system what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And that does not go over well.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So
it doesn't make friends, does it?
It does not. And I often put my foot in my mouth and say the wrong thing.
Well, you say the right thing, just to the wrong person.
To the wrong people. But you really need people who know how to go after those grants, who know the right people, who know how to write the right things. I am thankful to those who for our last grant that we applied for, who gave me some advice on how to do that well. Right. I did a better job because of that. But So we need those people, and then we also need the business people who would
Right.
believe enough in it to, once we have some assurance that we'd be getting some money to get the building, and
Mhm.
also to get the public part where we could, and to get, so where we start being able to get some people, so we could assure a market, and we need
Right.
somebody who would go out and get some businesses.
And the big grants have to have city involvement.
The city,
And that's
Yes.
a challenge.
right.
How do you get a city that's focused, or a city management that is focused in one direction to become more inclusive? And that's really a
Well,
project that we're describing.
I think that, we have a city council that's focused on the grand list and getting more tax dollars in.
Mhm.
Well, we need more tax dollars.
Right.
Of course, you can't do anything without it to run the city. But the constant focus on the tax dollars is preventing our leadership from being a little bolder and having more vision
Right.
about the long term, about what might in the long term bring in more tax dollars.
Yes.
I'm not a business person, but I know I hear business people say a long time, a lot, I've always heard, that you need to be willing to take a risk.
Right.
And these folks are not, they're not that kind of entrepreneurial, and they're not
Right.
willing to take a risk on a long shot idea that will pay off in the long run.
And if we don't feed the heart of a community,
Yeah,
then it gives up.
we're gonna die.
Right.
And
And it's fine building from the outside, which is what I
Yeah.
see the direction right now going in. But if you don't feed inside, then there's nothing to come into.
if you want to have tourists come here and love Newport,
Right.
we need to love ourselves first.
Exactly.
And we're not doing that, because
No,
we're not
we're
taking
not.
care of our people, and we're not presenting something to them to say, besides, in addition to our beautiful view, which we
Mhm.
have thanks to, our location, but we didn't do that, we didn't
Right.
create that. We need to create a Newport that is a place that people want to come to, not a place where people are depressed because
Right.
they can't, I would like to talk a little bit about my immediate neighborhood where I do most of my work and some of the issues that are going on there, but that sense of depression and concern over problems that we have, that is going to rub off on the people that come here.
Right.
They cannot go stay in a bed and breakfast and not notice people who really look down and out walking around on the street, and I'm not sure they
Clearly
really.
depressed.
Yeah, it would be great if they could come here and see people who have a community spirit, who are doing
Mhm.
stuff like the block party, who are
Right.
doing community projects. They would like to see people who are building stuff and doing things for themselves. That's a fun place to visit. It is not a fun
Exactly.
place to visit
Exactly.
something where everybody is just worried about the drug problem.
Yes.
So we need to take care of our people to get tourists to come here
Right.
and stay here and want to come back here.
And part of taking care of people is acknowledging they have value as
Right.
people, as persons.
Yeah, I do
And I-
not feel that we are doing that.
No, we're not. We're not.
It's like the old bench thing, Like, what's your solution to people who who are low-income people who sit on benches? Oh, you take the benches away.
Well,
Problem
then you
solved.
Put them back.
We
and
put
you
'em
put
when
them
they
right
leave.
on the curb.
Yeah,
So that what
right.
you can see is the interior
Yeah,
of a car.
people's cars.
Yay!
I mean, you could do. Well, how about we find a spot somewhere, little spots where we could do some little, pocket parks and little
Yes.
green spaces for those folks to sit in. It's like,
Sit down with your kids and watch kids fall in front of a car.
Right.
What a great
Right.
idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's just it's a disconnect.
I know.
I don't know what to say. But I guess that's the reason why we need more people from the community who
Yes.
are serving in leadership positions and on the city council. We need to find those people.
Yeah.
I know I know everybody that's on the city council is from Newport, but they don't. Not all of them come from the parts of Newport
Mhm.
that are the most, that are having the most trouble, and they don't come from the parts of Newport that are right downtown.
Right.
And that's my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
That's my neighbors that I'm concerned
Yes.
about. Those are the people that tourists see when they come.
Yes.
They don't go out to, Oak Street or something and
Mhm.
drive around on back avenues or whatever.
Exactly.
They're downtown.
Yeah.
And the people they see are my neighbors who are struggling.
Yes.
And
We are about out of time.
boy, that went fast.
I know it always goes fast, but I see what we've talked about today as
Mhm.
part of a series. I mean, Colleen and Adorian
Mhm.
came in, you're here. I want to continue this discussion because it's so important for how we feed the center of Newport and how we live in a place that we all want to live in.
Right, and how we, it's like putting on your oxygen mask before you put on somebody else's. We need to.
Right.
We need to get our house in order,
Absolutely.
and then we can say, come here because we're great people, we're doing good, we're
Yeah.
vibrant.
And we can share our energy with you.
Right, but we
as
need to
well
get
as
that
sucking
energy
yours.
going, because
Yeah.
right now, we're struggling.
Right. So on that note, thank you so much for
Oh, well,
coming.
thank you
and
for having
let's do
me.
it again.
Oh, okay.